Our parents, they tell us save every penny. But this book was totally in the contradiction. This book says, in early age of your career, never focus on saving.
I kept saying to myself that, I want to serve people. What was in the back of my mind, no matter how many conversations I had, I need a client because I needed money.
You also need to face the thing that you don't want so that it doesn't be that invisible boogeyman that's actually on your mind.
Ask yourself with the pen and pad, what is the biggest risk you took in your life till today? The second one, what is the biggest adversity you faced till today? And the third one, what is the biggest achievement? No matter how high you charge, you will always find people who can afford your services.
First of all, thank you for jumping on our podcast. So excited to have you here.
My pleasure, Faisal.
I was sharing a little bit of our journey as we've been getting to know each other, that we kind of started around the same time. You started as a speaker, I started as a coach. We attended the same event, which was very interesting. So I'll share a little bit about Rakesh, and then he can share a little bit about his journey too. He will be sharing, he shared with us what he wanted to talk about, which is the 5-step battle plan to success as a coach. So if you want strategy to move forward, this will be the podcast for you to build your business or to move your business forward and to serve more people, to serve more clients. One of the things that I've loved about Rakesh is that he's very passionate about what he wants to do. He wants to serve a lot of people. His goal and his vision is to serve 1 billion lives before he takes his last breath. He's a speaker, motivational speaker. He's a life strategist. He's a wealth coach. And he's already achieved financial success at the age of 45. And he really, his heart is in the area of service. He wants to serve people in general, but also coaches as he sees the value of it. So excited to have you here, Rakesh. Why don't we get started a little bit with your journey? What got you to where you are? What got you to be so passionate and have such a conviction about life, about serving others and all that? And what got you started in the world of coaching?
Thank you, Faisal and Daniel. Yeah, I will start. See, we all have stories. So I will start very, very, briefly. Basically, I come from India, from a village. So one day I was working with the laborer, literally with the laborer on the rice field, and this airplane fly by with this roaring sound. And I looked at like, oh my God, there are some people who are sitting on that machine in the sky, right? So I thought, and maybe I will die in this field, we don't have so much of land, but whatever, and that's it. That night, Faisal, I couldn't sleep. And the next morning I woke up and break the clay, we call it gollak, the little piggy bank, 23 rupees and 75 paisa, took that money, boarded the train and went to Allahabad. There is a city known for education. I don't know anybody. And that was the long story, how I survived my first month without knowing anybody in that city with my 23 rupees and 75 paisa. So that was my beginning. And the second awakening, at 11-year-old, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, our prime minister then, or a member of parliament from my place, Raebareli, and she was delivering the speech. And we were given those Petromax lamp with the filament and the kerosene, if you remember those early age. I don't know, you're from Europe, but in the villages, and we were holding those, to lit the stage, and she delivered the speech. And some of those white journalists probably from America or Europe, they were clicking her, and they were asking her, "Hey, smile." And they're clicking. So I realized they're laughing at our poverty because I was very sadly dressed, not good clothes, So came in my mind one day, you are laughing at me. One day I will come and deliver a speech and you will love me the way you are loving Indira Gandhi. And cut the story short, it took 30 years plus to prepare and deliver that speech in Canadian capital, Ottawa. And you can see in my YouTube channel, the 10-minute speech is there. So that was a little beginning. And then brought me to the village, to the city. And from there I moved to New Delhi. And New Delhi, I read this book. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big. So for my younger audience, or for that matter, coaches, listen very carefully. This book is called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. What I learned from this book, our parents, they tell us save every penny. But this book was totally in the contradiction. This book says, in early age of your career, never focus on saving. If you are not in bad habits, majorly these 4, or gambling, drugs, alcohol and womanizing, where you will be saving, you will be compromising with your lifestyle. Not good clothing, not a good food, not a good transportation, not good living, and you are bound to die mediocre and poor. Oh my God. I had this second-hand scooter, 7,500 rupees in Delhi, Bajaj Chetak, and I dropped that scooter back home in my village, and I bought this Kawasaki 4-stroke, bike. And within around 6 months, my expenses gone so high, my Indian earning was not enough. That is the first stretch. And I went to Middle East, Bahrain and Dubai. I was good in talking. So they put me into the service engineer. Then with my talk, I went to the managing director, asked them if they can put me in the sales. They put me. In 6 months, my sales commission gone more than 3 times my service salary. And then it was around 98, 99. Dream. Most of the Indian youth have a dream to go to America. And I have no experience. And IT was the boom in Y2K, year 2000. I said, can I go to America? But I have no experience. I said, who would care? Try. If you fail, but the experience you'll carry. One day I resigned, went to Bangalore, 30 days mainframe course in the Penta 4, took my H1, went to California. Started working. But before leaving Middle East, I applied for Canadian immigration. But anyway, after a few years, I got a call from dad, that there is a Canadian interview. And, I came and I got, moved to Canada and I started working in IT. And I thought, what? I reached somewhere. I'm going to live my American dream in Canada. And, I said, I'm going to make it big. Anyway, that confidence I had. But one day I realized what I'm heading to. And I went to Cuba alone to find what is my purpose. And when I did around 7 days writing, my book, the notebook and pen, I came to the realization, Rakesh, you know how to motivate and inspire people with your story, with their stories. For you, it's so easy to talk to the person to find what is their zone of genius, what is their superpower. And I decided to become mentor coach. But before helping others, I need to help myself, my family. I made very simple 3 things: pay off my house, secure children education funds, and find somewhere around 10 grants coming every month without working. And I gave a target of 10 years. I was around 32 that time. So I gave the maximum 45 target to retire financially. And it was 2.5 million, rough calculation. Now, many coaches will coach you or teach you, find your why, find what you want and why you want. That is, my why was, I want to live in this world free without any financial worry. Why? Because I want to help others, become author, become a speaker, become coach, become actor, become your own director. I went to film, New York Film Academy on different, workshops, like, on the editing, on the camera. I want to live that life before I die. That was my why. And why was so strong. I came, TD Bank, full-time job around 90 grand, quit, became a consultant, 3 times earning, opened my placement agency, even more, 3 times earning, put all this dumb money into real estate, and real estate did pretty well. All those target finished. So this is what happens. And I took a long time, but this is what my journey. So what? In my 20s, I was in education industry. I was educating myself on immigration. In my 30s, I went into IT. In 40s, into real estate. In my 50s now, I'm in the financial and coaching industries. In 60s, I will go into the Canadian politics. And in 70s, if still I'm alive and fit, I will become a spiritual guru. And with all seriousness, no joke here. Faisal, all yours. This was my little journey.
That's awesome. Well, you're definitely a speaker. It comes out loud and clear. And what there was at least one point that really stuck out for me is that I think, and I love your frame around this, is that when you have money, or at least when you're not thinking about money, you can serve people better. And that doesn't mean that everybody has to look at it in the same exact way, but I've noticed that when I'm not, just today I got off a call with 2 people. I wasn't attached to helping to get them as a client. I wanted to serve them, and if they didn't need me as a coach, great. How can I serve you another way? Can I connect you with somebody? Can I send you something? One of them signed up, the other one didn't sign up. Either way, I was not attached. And I didn't have that in the beginning when I was starting out as a coach, because I was struggling financially. And even though I kept saying to myself that, I want to serve people, what was in the back of my mind, no matter how many conversations I had, I need a client because I needed money. And that creates a contradiction. So, Daniel, did you want to add something to this? And let's get this started around the 5 battle plan as well soon. I think, Rakesh, you have a lot to share. So we'll see how this conversation goes, but I'm excited.
The only thing I would add, Faisal, is thank you for that story, Rakesh. And the thing that jumped out for me, what you said, Faisal, about not struggling financially allows you to do a lot of things, but also the thing that led to that was really being clear about your why and having that strong why that's driving you to the goal. Because if you don't know your why and you don't remember it on a regular basis, then you're not going to get to the goal that you set to get that financial independence. And the reason you want that financial independence is very strong. It's not just to be financially independent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. So Faisal, you want me to write on those 5 P's? I mean the 5 steps?
Let's dive in and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. So as Daniel and you both mentioned, see what happened. If I want to put, somebody said, but I'm trying to paraphrase, so forget about my, verbalization. If you have a clear what and a strong why, believe me, nothing can stop you in this world. I give you one analogy. Remember when you were in the 12th grade in the school and you like that girl? Man, you cannot sleep in the night. Tomorrow, what she's going to wear, how she's going to smile, how she's going to walk, coming by car or by bus or by walk, all these dreams. So if you can make your goal as your lover, as your mashtuka, believe me, nothing can stop you. But unfortunately, most of us, we are worried about how. We want every step in advance to be available before we take our first step. And believe me, if you knew every step to achieve something, you are playing so low. And you will get it and you will become depressed, ladies and gentlemen. So have a goal that probably not going to achieve so easy and not probably in your lifetime. Me, reaching billion people, to give them a smile and some hope to live life with abundance before my last breath. Now, dive those 5 steps. So I named them 5 P's, P for Peter. So the first one is personality. Who is this coaching business is the main important identity, item or thing is you. So you work on your own personality. And when I say own personality, these 6 pillars of your personality: health, wealth, family, social life, spirituality, and career. When I say health, very simple thing, as simple as just going the same time to bed and having 8 hours sleep. Drinking 8 hour, what you call, of water. Simple thing. So I put in 3 M's in that health category: mind, mouth, and move. Whatever you're putting in your mind, control it. Every circumstance is triggering to your thought. Your thoughts are triggering to your feelings. Your feelings are triggering to your actions. Your actions are deciding your results. So if you are a coach on the stage and you're scared, oh my God, how many people are going, if nobody's going to pay, how I'm going to pay my mortgage or children education, man, you are in very different, scary mindset. It's not going to work, guaranteed.
So let me pause you there, Rakesh. So if a coach is thinking that where they're struggling, they want to go speak to people and they have that fear, how would they approach it? Because I know a lot of coaches are scared of that. They want to put themselves out there, whether online or in person. How would they put themselves, or what do they need to remind themselves of to move forward?
Very good. One example, when I came to Canada, my English was poor. And for an IT interview, I used to go and I was feeling scared. This is a good analogy. Oh my God, how I'm going to face an interview? So I developed one day, all of a sudden, Rakesh, what are you scared for? I'm scared for that I may not get this job. Okay. So every place I used to go for an interview, I go to their men's room, washroom, whatever you call it, in front of the mirror. Rakesh, you are not going to get this job. That's it. And now I have hardly failed any interview. So for the coaches, if you are scared, find the worst thing you are thinking of, take it, that worst, accept it, and go. nobody's going to buy from you. But yalla, that's fine. Done.
Yeah.
What is the worst? Anything in life, going to girlfriend, she's not going to like me. Okay, go and play full on. So this is the direct reply. Anything for the coaches you ask, Faisal, but for anything in life, create the words in your mind, face it. It's already done. Now you go and play.
And that's also a really great questioning process for your clients as well. If a client is struggling with something, get them to think about the worst case scenario, because usually it's worse as a boogeyman as a specific thing versus as a specific thing. If once they find out what the worst case scenario is, like, how would you deal with this if this happened? So I have entrepreneurs that I work with. They're like, well, I'm scared of financial ruin. They don't know what that means. Like, okay, what would that look like? What do you think would happen? Worst case scenario. And they tell me, I'm like, how likely is it for that to happen? It's like, very unlikely. Let's say it does happen in the unlikely scenario. What would you do? How long would it take you to recover out of that? It's like 2-3 years. It will be hard. It will be a struggle. It's like, it looked a lot bigger in my head than as I'm sharing it. And all of a sudden that changes their perspective.
Here you go. I used to, Daniel, do you have any input or any question, anything?
I was going to say there's this natural tension between facing the worst case scenario and visualizing the thing you want, right? Like if you're visualizing regularly what you want, you also need to face the thing that you don't want so that it doesn't be that invisible boogeyman that's actually on your mind, right? Like there's two parts to this that are, I would say, like almost contradictory, but also just two sides of the same coin that you need both, right?
Right on, man. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, right on. Love it. Yeah. So as I was coming, yeah. So because I was doing some couple coaching, so what happened? There is just it's very unique. You will never heard this process. So in part of a couple coaching, I used to meet both a spouse, and then there was a facing your worst exercise. I was doing one-on-one. So suppose I'm talking to the wife. So the exercise was, it's all written, in the contract, before do the exercise, my coaching, that, so I used to ask her, okay, just imagine your husband is dead. You got the news, she died. Tell me, what will be your reaction?
Hope it's not.
I was like, there could be two different reactions here.
Because that could go the wrong way.
Of course, yeah. I know where you're coming from. So, and then, the love and affection, the financial love, the children, most people sometimes they are worried and sad, somebody passing. Of course, love and affection, but most of the things, the support system, either money making or whatever it is, right? So, and then I used to, so basically, if you create this scenario, you already gone through an exercise, something really, God forbid, nothing never happened, but one day is going to happen, then you already ready. So I don't want to go into the detail. So that was facing the worst, anything in personal life, in whatever it is really help if you dry run already in your mind. So first thing was mind, about your health. Second thing is, mouth. What you take from your mouth. Thought, vegan. I don't want to go into that, but whatever you think. I created the 8-hour sleep theory, 8-hour eat theory. Between 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning, take any 8 hours, go to sleep the same time. Simple Rakesh Mishra theory, Coach Mishra sleep theory. And what is eat theory? From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., take any 8 hours and just eat. 16 hours, no solid in your mouth. They name it intermittent fasting, blah, 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 whatever it is. Of course, you consult your doctor about your health, if you have sugar and all, but simple thing I follow. 8-hour sleep, 8 hour. So that is about the mouth, what you are putting in your mouth. Most of the things which are tasted to your tongue, they are dangerous to your health. Rest I'm not going into that detail. So that is the mouth. Third aim is move. Do some move in the morning. I do 50 sit-ups, 50 push-ups, and 5 sets of the sun salutation every morning without fail as part of my morning ritual. And one extra bonus in meditation. We met Brendan Bouchard, event me and Faisal. Brendan Bouchard gave me release meditation. It's on YouTube. Search for release meditation by Brendan Bouchard. It's a 30-minute, 10-hour guide and 20 minutes simple music. Sit down every morning, 20 minutes. Believe me, man, you will be changed person. Keep doing 6 months, 1 year. In the beginning, you will be kind of, totally, maybe frightened, what are you doing? Do it. Release meditation, YouTube, search it from Brendan Bouchard. That's what I do. So that is about the health part. So still, we are talking about the first personality, and I said 6 things. So I'll go fast here. with keeping the time in the respect. And second thing is that, as I said, your wealth. Simple calculation in wealth. I'm not going to go in detail, but simple calculation, two things. Sit down one day, find your net worth. How much you worth, whichever country you are. Right? So just find out. And second thing, you find out your income every month should not be less than your total expenses. Just control these two things. If you are in Canada, 3 years you are allowed to have passport. So after 3 years, take 2 more years bonus. After 5 years, every year you spend on this planet, your net worth should increase by $100,000. Just if possible. It's too much. If you want, you can 10 years. After 10 years as immigration, every year your net worth should increase by $100,000. So if you're in 20 years in Canada, your net worth should be $1 million, because first 10 years is as a preparation period. Now every year is 100,000, so minimum 1 million. Think in that way. I don't want to go that is simple into the wealth. And the family, you will never heard what I'm going to share. We do the meeting for the business meeting, coaching meeting, office meeting, but we never do family meeting. So what you do? Every month decide the date and give 1 hour dedicated to the family meeting. How is going to work? Divide 1 hour, 60 minutes by the number of family member who can talk. I'm not talking about the 1 hour old boy or girl, but people like 12, maybe 12 years plus. Give equal time to everybody. Suppose 6 members in the family, 60 divided by 6 is 10. Give 10 minutes everybody. And you can have maybe 21 for celebration, somebody's birthday or something, some fun, some food, whatever it is. One member's favorite food is going to be cook, and whatever, they make a celebration every month for 1 hour. So whatever time everybody got, the person is going to come on the stage. You do the setup the way you want, and he or she going to just share 3 things. Last 30 days, because you are meeting every month on the same day. So last 30 days, the biggest win. Share your happiness. Second thing, what is the biggest challenge you have? And the third thing, what is you are going to engage on next 30 days? Maybe you're traveling, your wife should know, your children should know. Maybe you have some plan. So believe me, if everybody do these things, many divorces and many teenager suicides can be prevented. Because what is one of the main cause between the divorces and the teenager suicide is they were not allowed to express themselves as a. And with this meeting, every month you will be expressing yourself and nothing will go untapped. So
I
that
love
is.
that.
Go ahead.
I love this a lot because with me and my wife, we tend to do a lot of communication. And one of the things I noticed with many couples, it's like life goes on and communication doesn't happen. You don't have that time to connect, and unless you make it. And even when you do connect, being intentional about what you can talk about seems challenging because there's so much to do, right? And so if you start that with your spouse early, like I have 2 very young kids, they're under 3, but if we continue to do that communicating together and we make a dedicated time for it, then we can bring our kids into that every time we do it, and then it's just a natural part of communicating. We're teaching them how we communicate, and just becoming good for everybody to learn. And it's just a way that we teach how to communicate, and that'll serve them in life too.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, you have seen that, those green belt where people are living 100, 110 years. What? Just communication. They are sharing with others, so like that, And second, I take 4-hour workshop on this, just on only this exercise, a workshop for 4 hours. But second thing, you can put 1 meal a week together if possible. 1 vacation every year if possible. And that's it. I believe on the family side. And the third one is the career.
Can I pause you there? Because you remind me of something, because this is a really crucial area, family and relationship with your spouse. And I would add anybody who has business partners or people they're working with. Like these relationships tend to influence you a lot, and a lot of times we pay less attention to, like you said, we pay less attention to these than a lot of the other decisions that we make. You actually reminded me of what happened. So I was driving down one of my family members. He was driving me to Toronto from Kitchener, And we were talking about relationships. He was going through a hard time. He had just separated from his ex, and he was about to get into a new relationship. And he made a comment. He's like, you and your wife, my wife Sarah and I, like, you guys are pretty good. Like you're together, you're connected. And I paused and I took a deep breath. And it's like, that's what we appear. And then I told him, you know, because I've seen this family member for years, pretty much every weekend or every other weekend, and they see us coming there and celebrating with them, having a meal with them, doing all sorts of things. But I told him, what you don't see, what you didn't see, is that there was a point where we almost came to the brink of divorce. There was a point where we were struggling a lot. You know, when everybody was sitting there from when you guys were celebrating, having fun, you know what we were doing? We were in coaching sessions, losing brain cells, and getting angry, frustrated, not knowing how to connect with each other. And then that became a habit that, you know what, we've spent so many years disconnected and not communicating well, not understanding each other well, that it kind of carried over. But as we did that more and more, we realized, you know what, marriage is work.
Yes.
Every relationship is work. It requires nurturing. And I kind of took it for granted that we're just married. But and what I wanted to communicate to him more than anything else was that what you see as one can be very elusive. Yes, we are happy, we are connected, but that's because we are consistently putting in effort right now. We understand the value of it now, because it determines everything. It determines how we connect with our kids. It determines my business, how I focus on my business. It determines how I build relationships, how confident I am out in the world when I have the person closest to me is supporting me and I'm supporting her. Determines everything. And I love what you said about family time as well. That was another realization we came, because we realized that we weren't focused on kind of building our own little family culture. That's actually part of the reason when I shared with you that we're kind of taking a little bit of time traveling together for 3-4 months at a time now, because we want to connect and we want our kids to understand us. We want to spend separate time with each of them. Makes a huge difference. It influences every aspect of your life. And the reason why I'm sharing this is, I'd say these two areas, it doesn't matter what kind of person you work with, and the more high performing they are, or the more high achieving they are in their mind, the less they pay attention to these two areas, because their drive is, let me do something useful out in the world, let me create success, that story of success that's given, but then they neglect those two areas. They take it for granted. This is an area of opportunity for coaches. And a lot of times coaches, surprisingly, they're uncomfortable with this area. And when you actually dig deeper, why they were, because they haven't taken care of it themselves. That's comfortable to go there.
Faisal, big one. That's why I see many people might thinking what they're talking about, Faisal and Daniel and Rakesh, you know, about the family. We coach, we want to learn. But man, believe me, as I said, you are the engine. All right. Unless you know, sometimes I found, you know, if I may allow to say that, I found the coaches are the biggest scammer in the industry today. Not all, but to whom I know. And why it is? Some coaches, they are teaching others to become a millionaire in the real estate or so many things, and bloody they are broke. It doesn't work. Your own family life, in the words of the divorce, and you are the relationship coach. Doesn't work. It will become fake. You will sound a scammer. First, you fix yourself, or at least have got the result for yourself, the area you are coaching others.
You know, you're saying, Rakesh, it totally makes sense that something I've been thinking about a lot recently is like, what makes a really good coach? And sure, there's a lot of coaching skills and business skills and all that, but one of the things that makes a coach really good is having really deep and challenging life experiences that they've muddled through and figured out, and met the challenges and grown through challenges. If you haven't had any challenges in life and everything's been pretty simple, you don't have those complex situations to draw on as your experience, right? And so, having had, similar to Faisal, so many challenging experiences with my spouse and relationships, I am really good at understanding the journey for people in relationships. But if you haven't had those journeys, go get and have them. Like, if you are trying to help people with their spouses, you got to deal with your own relationship too.
Oh, thank you, Faisal, for bringing Daniel. You guys are so wise, and kind of the wisdom you have. Thanks for sharing.
Well, thank you.
Seriously, you feel excited.
We don't look very wise, but when we speak, then it comes out.
For sure, and that whatever Daniel said reminded me of Einstein. He said, if you have not faced adversity, I'm so sorry that you never late. And
Yeah.
that prompted me to my 3 questions. I always say, ask these 3 questions from yourself, in the silent, alone. What is the biggest adversity? For our, fellow coaches, ask yourself with the pen and pad, write down these 3 questions and find the answer. And do every birthday, these 3 questions, ask yourself, what is the biggest risk you took in your life till today? The second one, what is the biggest adversity you faced till today? And the third one, what is the biggest achievement? Review them. If the same answer, you're not growing. Take more risk. Face more adversities. And achievements are bound to happen. And that will happen, these risks. Sorry, go ahead.
I love that question. What is the biggest? Actually, that motivated me a lot a couple of years ago because I was starting to work more and more with coaches, and I was giving advice to, and I was like, it actually, I stepped back a little bit, and I felt a little bit not congruent. I'm like, okay. And when I asked myself a version of that question, is like, okay, what am I doing? And I realized that I was fairly comfortable in my business. I was fairly comfortable in my life. And I kept telling myself that, you know what, when I started out, I took a big risk. I quit my job. I jumped into the business world. But years had passed by since then. I've been comfortable for a while, and I'm asking these coaches or these clients to take a risk, to challenge them. I didn't feel good about that. That actually pushed me. I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to ask them, I better do that myself. So that got me to, I'm like, okay, what is the risk I'm going to take? The risk for me was that, you know what? I'm going to push myself, whatever that look. I'm going to be in a space where I feel like I can't figure out anything. And that's what happened. And as I pushed myself more, I felt more congruent. I felt more aligned. Like, okay, now I can challenge others like that too. A lot of coaches, they've kind of gone through something years ago, like a couple of decades ago, and they keep bringing that same story over and over. When you look at their life right now, they're not doing anything. They're not taking risks.
Yes, Faisal. Faisal knows, but Daniel, these are the real books. It's not the virtual screen, right? So my biggest problem was, so
it did just blur a little bit.
So these are all the real books. Anyway, so
you dropped some.
I know you dropped 2 books.
They all come down.
Yeah. So my biggest problem was, very simple problem: how to read, how to write, and how to speak in English. That's my biggest problem. And I took a challenge. Every week I read one book for 100 weeks. I wrote one article on LinkedIn. If you go, I have around 30,000, 29,000, some 900, connection follower. Many years back, I wrote one article every day. And that's the result. I wrote a book, the bestseller, The 6 Pillars of the Life Management System. It came from that. I did Facebook Live every day for 100 days. So these 3 things, that is called the stretching beyond your comfort zone. Right? Doing Facebook Live to remove my public speaking fear, 100 days continuously. Writing fear, wrote 100 articles, and reading 100 books, 100 weeks.
Yeah. And I love this. So if you're listening to this as a coach, and coaches, as far as I know, when I taught them, they struggle to put themselves out there. And again, think about it from a client's point of view. You want to challenge other people, but you're struggling to put yourself out there, and you're waiting for the right time or for the right, it's not going to come. It's a decision. And the more you challenge yourself to do this, the more again, none of this stuff we're saying is that you need to be perfect. You need to deal with every life challenges. That's not going to happen. You just need to tackle whatever is in front of you. By tackle as in face the challenges that are in front of you and go towards the things that matter to you. Because ultimately, for what is a coach doing? I think a coach, one of the most significant things for a coach is you're helping others to go towards their potential. The question to you is, are you pushing yourself towards that? Are you being coached to go towards that as well? That's the other side of it. Most coaches have not invested in themselves in the way they should invest. And asking others to do that too.
Big time. Faisal, I don't know, Daniel, you both laugh. So around 6 books fell down. So I was able to get a hold of one. I don't know why I'm sharing this. It's a good book. If you have not, so I don't know why it came to my hand. So,
Parachute.
what color is your parachute? Get it, man. It's a lovely book. I have read page to page, end to end. I don't know why it came in my hand. This is a big, God, or
There's a reason.
there is a reason. I don't know. I'm just sharing it as. So this is the one, and it's not self promotion, but my book is next to sitting to that. This is the book I wrote. So
I feel bad for the authors whose books fell.
But before we get too deep, okay, so we started covering the first pillar.
Right.
We've got 5 more pillars to do. We've only got 15 minutes here. So
yeah. So I'll go. Yeah, very fast. So now so thank you, Daniel, for a reminder. I was just looking
we could actually cover one pillar and not even cover that pillar today because this conversation.
Oh, sure, yeah. So
deep, right?
So out of 6 pillars, we cover health, wealth, family in the career. That Robert Kiyosaki, that ESBI, the 4 quadrant. The rich, dad, poor, dad. What you do as a coach, ESBI. Try to have all the 4 quadrant, work on them in parallel. What is E? Employed. You might have been employed, right? B, the S is the self-employed. Your coach is self-employed. Think about it. The business means own something, little things. An investor, real estate. You are investor, mortgage, whatever it is. Try to cover all the 4 in the parallel. So ESBY, be employed on something. Be self-employed on something. Open your corporation, your company, do some business, little things. So try to run through these things. Suddenly you will realize you are in a different mindset. But anyway, that is a career. And of course, whatever you are doing, even as a coach, are you doing as a coach because you have heard Faisal is making money and you also become coach? Or you really love coaching? Because coaching is all about meeting people, being a good listener, have resilience, and have so much patience to see no and objection. If you don't have that personality, believe me, it is very wise decision. Do something else. It's not going to be easy. As simple as that. And then the social life.
Right. You have to have the passion for it.
That's it. Social life, many things. Everybody is socializing. Somebody is in the bar. Somebody is a family gathering, whatever it is. What I do last 11 years, I meet one stranger every day without a fail. One stranger, everybody, my only target to give the smile and leave. If not, they'll move on to second one. But I have to give the smile. During the COVID, I used to get them over the Zoom. But I made sure give the smile. One stranger every day. It's not easy, but believe me, that will change life and that will make you very good coach, by the way. Spirituality, as I said, nothing religious here. Spirituality means something to remove the unwanted thoughts coming 60,000 every day. So do something. Bernard Bouchard, I shared 20-minute release meditation. It is the one. So that is the first P. Second P is a problem. What problem really you are solving at the marketplace as a coach? Work on it. Sometimes we start solving the problem, whole program and everything, but do the public really need it? First filter, first check. Maybe public need it, but are they ready to pay for it? Second check. Third check. They need it, they are ready to pay it, but are they ready to pay enough which is sustainable for you as a coach? Fourth, is it scalable? It's just you are always going one-on-one. How many hours do you have? Or is it scalable as a group coaching program? Or maybe tomorrow you have your own coaches and those coaches will coach others. Think from that angle. These 4 things I would say, about the problems. Work on the problem you are solving and have these 4 checks. If they qualify, move on. Else, think again. Maybe you need to change your problem.
You're specifically talking about the problem that the coach is solving and choosing a niche, right?
Right.
An area of expertise or specialization here, right?
Yeah. So make sure, because many problems are there. Because today you are living in the, anything which you are doing with your hands, robot is going to do. Anything which you are doing with your brain and mind, Chat GPT is going to do. AI is going to do. So why you need it here? Work on it. What the AI and robot cannot do, and I think coaches comes very handy into it. Meeting with the people, talking to their emotions, their goals, these things. No, of course, AI may become one day very advanced, but it will take a long time. Even if AI will become advanced, not everybody is going to use AI, the people who are going to coach them, right? So you have still a lot of room as a coach. So that is about the problem. Third is the people. As Daniel said, niche. Who you want to reach, what those people are, what people are. Make it very clear. If you have no clarity, help everybody and see where you stick around. Who gets really good result and who you feel more comfortable with. Just serve everybody. Male, female, white, black, small, big, poor, rich. Just try to find out. And then who's
They're everywhere.
Yeah, go everywhere for some time. Have fun. And then suddenly you realize that where I resonate, right? But keep the money is the best measuring tool. Money is the best measuring tool. All, believe me, all nonsense. All this, all the big things. Are you making money? At least $100,000 every year, no matter where you live on this planet. That's it. Measuring.
Are you, Rakesh, are you saying that they're going to make 100,000 the first year? As a
wherever,
coach?
after 5 years, after 10 years, at least wherever you are, whoever is listening. First year, it won't be possible. Unless you have already done very well something, but you never realize that you can teach that thing, and suddenly you start teaching, but you have everything already in your kitty. The only thing you have never started, but now suddenly start. And you can make $100,000, $1 million a year. What I'm trying to say, somebody is in real estate coach, and he has already 100 properties himself. He knows more than real estate agents. And you can be very effective to the people right from the start. So of course you can make money. So what I meant, the people who are starting very new career as a coach, that should be your target. Take it, I would say, around 3 years, 1,000 days. Give 1,000 days target as a new coach to make $100,000 every year.
I love this because it combines a few different things that you said. If I want to refer, I'm taking notes here, by the way, because I really want to get what you're saying.
Please.
And for the benefit of people watching, like if you take the 3 questions journal, what are the biggest adversities you faced, the biggest risks you took, and the biggest achievements? There's something in there that adds value to people, right? And then if you take your financial metrics, which is measuring your total net worth, your expenses and your income, making sure that your income is greater than your expenses, and you take 1,000 days and work every day on building your coaching business, by the end of that 1,000 days, you should have a shot at having $100,000 yearly income. That's what you're getting at, Rakesh, right?
Sure. Right on.
And while you do that, figure out your problem you're solving, figure out who you resonate with. That takes 3 years, really is ultimately what I think you're getting. And my experience was it definitely took years to figure that out. And you can definitely do it a lot slower, but why would you? You want to do it faster, right? If you can. And then, check, does the public really need what you're offering? Are they willing to pay for it? Are they willing to pay enough for it? And is it scalable?
Oh, sure. So, I'm not going into that, real,
I was just kind of combining everything that
sure,
you into this point that you're making. How could a coach make it to 100K in 3 years? That's one way. If you combine all, you can sort of see how that would fit together, right?
Sure. And if I want to, thanks, Daniel. I think you're very good putting things a very simple way. So that is, I realize your quality, and that's very good quality. Many people, they explain everything, but they don't deliver. But you have very good, you put together and very simple way. So this is not the, the coaching to the coaches. But if I want to add one very see, my things is all very practical, and sometimes I go a little overboard. So if you're starting as a coach, what you do, 1 year is ideal. At least 6 months worth your monthly expenses keep as a liquid cash, believe me. Starting as coach is not that easy, but highly rewarding career. But believe me, it is going to be tough ride. So what if you need to downsize from big home to small home? Go for it.
Yeah.
Cut down your expenses and make 1 year, no money coming in, still you can survive. Believe me, that is the biggest skill you can borrow or buy or reserve, that having a 1 year worth your expenses.
Totally love that.
Then you go full on. Just help for free. Then next 1 year, just only focus, get the result. The area you decide to coach, the problem you decide to coach, get the result for the people. Most coaches are struggling. Believe me, they cannot get the results.
Yeah. Which goes towards your skill sets, because as a coach, you might think that you have the skill sets to serve people, but you might not. It will take a lot of, not because personal development, but actually you working with people to help them get results. I was talking to one of our members in our community. He's like, well, should I market? I'm like, what do you mean by marketing? like that your main thing is go work with people paid or unpaid. I need you to get the experience to help people get results. That's what Brendan Burchard would say. I get paid as a coach to help people get results, nothing else, not to teach them, not to give them new perspective, not to give them worksheets, but to help them get their results or results quicker than they would on their own. If you cannot do that, you will not have clients. And usually it's the skill set challenge in the beginning.
Oh, big time, big time. See, the coach is one of the skill. There is a bonus, P, I have added. I want to add, but since you brought in here, public speaking, talking to the people. This is one of the best, one of the most needed skill you have to have. Public speaking. Join Toastmaster for free almost. $150, $200 a year. Join Toastmaster. First thing. Second thing, hire a coach on the public speaking. I paid Steve Lovell out of Ottawa. He was charging at least 24,000 American those days, but he gave me some discount and Canadian currency, something, So, but that changed my life. But I couldn't sleep 3 nights, the money I paid for him, So I have hired, coming from India, you convert Indian rupees and you freak out, man. What you did? I
That's
cannot
hundreds
tell
of thousands of dollars in rupees.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, but that is life-changing, man. That is life-changing. And yeah, so first thing this, and second thing in this, and the third thing, it will help you. So, keeping the time. Yeah. So skills are very, very, very important. So that is a problem. That is a people. The fourth P is the price. I'm not going too much, but I'm going to just say 2 statements here. No matter how high you charge, you will always find people who can afford your services. And no matter how low you charge, you will find people have excuse to afford that. So price is in your mind.
Yeah.
And the third thing is, you will never charge a ticket price more than you paid so far. In general, it can be exception always. So make sure how much you paid to a coach till today. In most of the time, it's a 1 to 10%, 1 to 10 ratio. If you have paid $10,000, so you can a month to somebody, you can only teach to get $1,000 result, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're getting. So whatever you paid, only 1/10 you can help somebody to get it in the beginning, in 1 or 2 years.
That's such a profound point, and I love this statement also from Alex Hormozi, which communicates the same point, is that most of the objections that coaches don't know how to overcome is the objections that they haven't dealt with themselves. They haven't dealt with their own objections of investing in programs and things like that. So they're thinking about, how can I deal with this client's objections? You haven't even dealt with your own objections of investing, so you don't know how to deal with people's objections. And you don't have the confidence to say that this will work for you. Just like Rakesh is saying, well, I invested $25,000 to move forward. And most coaches in their mind, they're like, you know what? I'm going to get started when I get hundreds of thousands of dollars, then I'll invest in it. You might have to start with an investment. And this is just such a weird thing, because when I went to school as an engineer, I had to pay. I invested my money to be there, even though I'm not even working in that field anymore. I invested thousands of dollars to be there. I invested more in that than I did in my business that is actually generating money. 10 times more I would in that work. But there are a couple other key things I don't want people to miss that you mentioned that were really powerful. One, the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Every investor that I know, every person who cares about building wealth, they've read that book. Most coaches haven't heard of that book. Read the book. Even if you just go through that first chapter, it will like blow your mind. It's like, holy shit, that's what it means to be an entrepreneur and an investor. It changed the way I started thinking. And I learned that from my clients, because every investor I talk to, they're like, I know that book inside out. That's why I'm in the investing journey. Coaches, you need to read that book. The other thing is, you will know that pretty much every person says, you're hearing more and more about people becoming coaches. And I think part of the reason is because it's in demand. So people hear that, just like you said, oh, this person is making money, let me go towards it too. It is not easy to become a coach. If your heart is not in it, it's not sustainable. You're going to have to work for months, maybe years, before you can make this into an actual path forward for yourself. It will not be sustainable if you're just going into this for money. It will be very, very difficult. Eventually, maybe it becomes a world like therapy and psychology where people get into this there will be jobs there. And this is why there are a lot of therapists that suck. There are a lot of therapists that are amazing, but you will find both sides of it. Have your heart in it because it will take work to do this. I just didn't want people to miss those 2 points.
Oh,
I love
sure.
everything that's being shared. I just want to add one little point to add on
Sure.
top, which is if you think you can't afford a coach, then figure out what you can afford. Like one of the, was it Rich Lipton who said, every coach needs a coach. Get the coach you can afford, the best coach you can afford today, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, it doesn't have to be an expensive coach. It doesn't have to be a coach of a certain level. For you, what can you afford? Then think about, and if you can't afford anything, then think about whether you're investing in yourself at all. Because
Sure.
you need to invest. And you need to change your mindset about what you can afford.
Sure. So Faisal, with that, how many minutes you have? So according I can just plan my next.
5
3
more minutes.
2 minutes, yeah. So, we covered out of the 4P, we have covered, 5P, we have covered the personality, problem, people, price, and the last one is the process. So you should be mastering your process of delivery. If it is the Zoom is very simple thing, but Zoom is very complicated thing. So have mastery, have a mastery, how to run this breakout room. And I'm not going to that, but have the mastery. If you are delivering not sure, have someone with you who is looking after the technology part, you just delivery. So make sure the process. Are you going toward the Zoom or in person or hybrid in the workshop model? Whatever it is, decide only one mode first to start with. Don't jump everywhere. Have mastery on one mode, either in person or with the Zoom. So work on the, this process. If you want to hire, you can hire someone. So here is the, some little bonus in the, fast track. 3 C's for learning: coaches, conferences, and courses. Never live your life without a coach, free or paid. Paid always works. And never live without a conference is booked in your calendar. Either you are delivering or you are attending, doesn't matter. Believe me, life-changing things. Every day things are changing so fast. If you go to conference, you will be up to date. Plus, you will be adding some skill and personality, how to dress, how to. Sometimes it's so sad, I don't know, am I allowed to say, people don't know even how to eat the lunch. Those social etiquettes, behave big time.
Yeah.
Right? The kind of the bag you carry, the small thing. So be presentable where you are. So those 3 C's for learning: coaches, conferences, and coaches. And 3 C's are living as a coach. Be curious what is happening in the coaching industry, how AI is impacting coaching industry, what other coaches are. Be curious to learn those. Second is be creative. Be creative. Like the book is fell down, though it was not intentional, it's fell down. I shown that book is kind of creativity. I use that failing book some different way. A sign of God, something, just be creative. And the third one, which I love it, never lose your teenager in your whole life. And to make that teenager active in you, the third C is be crazy. Do something crazy. I was in New York with my family and I went to Starbucks, and the girl asked, so sir, how would you like to pay? My wife is right next to me. I said, I decided today not to pay. She said, okay, that's fine. I said, no, I was joking. She said, no, sir. Nobody in my 15-year career in this, public, facing as a cash counter, nobody has ever asked, and I will pay from my pocket, but I will make part of my story that one crazy guy came with the hat and he asked for the change. Asked for not to pay, and I said no. This is called the crazy. Do something crazy in your life. Sometime, you know what? Coach somebody, you charge $1,000. You say, you know what? Let's meet for coffee. Go meet coffee and give the $1,000 check return back to your client. Just return 100% refund for no reason. Be crazy. This will create a new network in your brain which they've never been tapped on. Now you are in the verge of becoming a real hero who will stand out. Do some crazy things. Go to the Brendan Bishop conference, take 5 people for dinner, pay the bill. Just like that, for no reason.
I love that.
But
I love that.
I like the crazy. Yeah.
That's it. See the smile, Daniel, in your face. Be crazy, man. We are buying a 10-bedroom house to impress those you hate the most. You know where you enjoy our life most? We are living in a 6-bedroom house, but when we go to cottage 1-bedroom, we really love it.
Yep.
Even we love more when we go camping. There is even no roof. That shows you don't need anything to be happy, ladies and gentlemen. I had my own adversities. If I want to put in one line, with request rather, everybody who's listening. And by the way, if you sit with your pen and pad this whole Faisal session today, believe me, just take 5 things or just take one thing from this whole session that will change your life forever. I'm dead serious. So here is my last sentence with you all with the folded hand. Stretch, stretch and stretch beyond your comfort zone and find your true purpose of your life before this beautiful and lovely life comes to an end. Thank you, Faisal. Thank you, Daniel. And thank you, audience. I'm all in social media, Success Coach Rakesh. You can reach out to me. Anybody comes here, no selling. Come with your question. I'm able to give my half an hour free time to anybody. Faisal, all yours.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. And I love your
Thank you so
passion.
much.
I love your conviction. I love the frameworks that you shared. I agree with pretty much all of it. And if you're listening as coaches, we actually just recently moved to school, and it's a very small investment for you to join in. Right now, it's $47. If you're hearing this, it's April 24th. Up until end of May, it will be $47. After that, it will go to $97 a month. You're getting a whole community of coaches that you will get live feedback from the marketplace. And you will get lots of courses in there, live training, lots of things that will keep you on track. Now, there are other levels of the program that we have, but consider investing in yourself, whether you join our community or somewhere else. I'm not attached to that, but get the support that you need. Don't try to do it alone. We've actually, Daniel and I, we both tried to do that alone in the beginning. We struggled. But as we started to connect with other business owners, other coaches, and other people who are actually moving their business forward, not people who are just thinking about it, people who are actually doing this, makes a huge difference. And we're going to be doing events and other things. So a lot of the things Rakesh mentioned that's in our community, and we want to serve you. Definitely share your thoughts and insights about this below. Share it with other coaches. I think it was a powerful message that Rakesh shared. Reach out to Rakesh. Thank you, Rakesh, for sharing your wisdom with us. It was such an honor to be on the call today, and we'll see you all next week.
Then, Faisal, the last thing. Daniel, is the guitar behind, is this real?
Yeah, it is totally real.
He was just playing it before you came.
Okay. So that's what I want to say. So do something crazy. Play just, just few seconds. Yeah.
Turn off the mute, the noise cancel. Awesome. We started with guitar. We ended with guitar.
Here you go. Here you go.
Wishing the best to everyone. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. Thank you, Rakesh, for being here.
Bye. Thanks again, Rakesh.